What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything you need to know about, as well as money, investing, the stock market. Remember, new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. We had a very important vote, this time in the House of Representatives, late last night. Here it is.
On this vote, the yeas are 219, the nays are 206. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
So yes, last night, finally in the House of Representatives, they have now fully passed the debt limit or the debt ceiling. Remember, the Senate had passed that bill on Thursday night, and now the House of Representatives have passed it, and now we'll go on to the president to sign this bill. So this will approve the debt limit that will only raise the debt limit until early December. It does not have an actual date on it. It actually has a number on it, which will raise the debt ceiling by $480 billion. Okay, this will raise the debt ceiling by $480 billion. This is estimated to basically extend the debt ceiling until December 3rd. That is an estimated date. So this basically kicks the can down the road. So although we breathe a sigh of relief that the US government and the Treasury didn't default, which would have been terrible, the worst thing we can think about, would have sent the stock market crashing, pensions and 401ks crashing. The US government and the Treasury would have literally run out of money. We've seen both the president, senators, and the Treasury secretary say that this could have delayed or possibly made Social Security payments being missed. Payments to child tax credits, 65 million families been missed or delayed, as well as payments to the military servicemen, again, missed or delayed. Bond payments, treasury payments missed or delayed. And basically would have told the world that we can't pay our bills simply because we can't get the Republicans and Democrats to agree. So we finally got them to agree for one single small moment, of which pretty much immediately after they immediately started fighting again. Yeah, they're literally like school children. The Republicans and Democrats just immediately go back to fighting. The problem is this time around is they're fighting even worse, and Republicans have vowed now to not help the Democrats next time around. So, and this time they're serious. Mitch McConnell and the Republicans say next time they're not going to vote yes on raising the debt limit. So the Democrats are going to have to do it on their own this time and basically have to pass this through the stimulus package basically in a month and a half here. So this kind of complicates things because if the Democrats can't do this here in the next month or so, which they should be able to do, the problem we're having is we have Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, who are complicating things, and the price tag of things, and we have this prescription drug issue, and we'll get to that here next. But the good thing is that both Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and Chuck Schumer have now said they can put their full attention on the stimulus package. They no longer have to worry about the government literally defaulting. This would have been a first ever time default that's different than a government shutdown. A government shutdown, we've had that before. That's bad. But this would have been a first time ever default. This literally would have meant the government would have run out of money, would not have been able to pay pretty much anything having to do with a bill. Yeah, so thankfully crisis is averted for now. And this actually sent the stock market up pretty decently over the last few days. Some stocks I've mentioned in the past, Gold Mountain Mining, which was a previous sponsor of our show, yesterday was up over 4%. Blue Lagoon Resources, which was a previous sponsor of our show, was also up over 4% yesterday. And Uranium Energy Corp, UEC, which was also a previous sponsor of our show, it was up over 14% yesterday, almost 15% in just one day. That's a lot of money in just one day. Meanwhile, Facebook stock has been struggling. They're down almost 15% over the last month as they've been having a scandal over the Facebook whistleblower. And yeah, Facebook stock has been really struggling over the last several days here and several weeks because of the Facebook whistleblower whole situation. Yeah, not looking good for Facebook, at least in the near term, but could be a good buying opportunity in the long run. But yeah, definitely struggling there on the short term. Now, if the Democrats have to pass a bill and in before December here, November is next month, Nancy Pelosi has something really interesting to say here about taking the debt limit authority away from Congress. Listen to what she has to say here.
In terms of the debt ceiling, well, we're just hoping that we can do this in a bipartisan way. There are all kinds of suggestions that members have. One that really was endorsed a while back by Mitch McConnell, but who knows? Who knows? But it was the manifestation of it now. Mr. Yarmouth and Mr. Boyle have put forth, puts the responsibility on the Secretary of the Treasury to make the determination to lift the debt ceiling. That decision could be overruled by the Congress. It would take 60 votes under the present custom, but nonetheless, Congress would have to overrule that. That seems to have some appeal to both sides of the aisle because of the consequences to people of not lifting it. But why would many Democrats and Republicans have voted against lifting the debt ceiling, but never to the extent of jeopardizing it. This is the first time.
That idea? Are you in favor of that idea?
I think it has merit. Yes, I do think it has merit. But in the meantime, we're going to pass a bill today to take us to December with the hope that when people realize what the implications of it, this is not a technical thing. This has ramifications, as I say.
So that was right before they did pass the bill in the House. So they have passed it in the House. The Senate, the president will sign it. They have a lot. There's been a lot of talk about either taking the authority away from Congress, getting rid of the debt limit ceiling or the debt limit in getting rid of it entirely, which they can do. The Democrats can do that on their own through the reconciliation process. They could pass the debt limits for 2 years instead of just passing it for a year, which I really think that the Democrats, if they pass it in the stimulus package, they were against passing it in the stimulus package at all. But now the Republicans are going to force them to do that. So there's a lot of decisions they're going to have to make here over the next several days. Are they going to do that? Are they going to get rid of the debt limit completely? Are they going to give the authority to the Treasury Secretary? Any of those decisions would be better than leaving it up to Congress because Democrats have kind of refused to raise the debt limit in the past and left it up to Republicans. Republicans are refusing to raise it now and are leaving it up to Democrats. And this whole kind of standoff situation kind of puts the whole full faith and credit of the United States at risk, Social Security payments at risk, child tax credit payments at risk, the economy at risk, like everything at risk. And I think it was George Stephanopoulos. I love saying that last name. I think we had him. We showed him on the show here like yesterday, and I think even he said one of these times they're gonna mess up and not have the votes or not pass it in time, or the standoff is just gonna end and they're gonna default. Because I mean that happens with government shutdowns. Think about how many times we've had government shutdowns. Both sides say, "Oh, we don't want to shut down. We don't want a government shutdown." And guess what happens? Government shutdown. One of these times it's going to happen, and they're going to say, "Oh, we don't want to default." And what's going to happen? Government default. So before that happens, they need to just either get rid of the debt limit. I think that's probably the best thing, or give it to the Treasury Secretary. That's pretty much just as good because, like Nancy Pelosi says, that they would have to overrule her with 60 votes to not raise the debt limit, and that pretty much is as good as gold. And if you're really figuring out how that would work, both parties would have to overrule her to not raise the debt limit, and that pretty much wouldn't happen if I'm just kind of thinking through it. Remember, they have to raise the debt limit. Both parties realize this. Even Mitch McConnell says this. I've showed it on the show. They have to do that just to pay the interest on all the past debt. They can't not do it. There's no way around it. They have to do it, or else we default. They have to do it just to pay the interest alone on all the past debt, because some people don't realize that. Some people are like, oh, don't do it. We don't need any more debt. We have to do it. There's just no way around it, just so everybody's clear on that. All right. So now both Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House of Representatives, and the Democrats in the House. Remember, Democrats are in control of the House and the Senate. Chuck Schumer, leader of the Senate, leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Remember, the Democrats are going to pass this stimulus package completely on their own without any Republican votes. Remember, the Democrats also passed the third stimulus check package without a single Republican vote. Not a single Republican voted yes on the third stimulus check package. Not a single Republican voted yes on that for those $1,400 stimulus checks, those child tax credits, the rent assistance. Not a single Republican is going to vote yes on this next stimulus package either. Nancy Pelosi has some very interesting things to say, actually, on this next stimulus package. First, on the very controversial IRS surveillance issue, where the IRS, they want the IRS to be able to look into your bank account for transactions as low as $600. This is a very big controversial issue going around. Here's what Nancy Pelosi has to say about this. First of all, check this out.
Madam Speaker, Pelosi, one of the pay-fors in the Build Back Better bill that's been proposed is IRS cracking down on some unpaid taxes. Banks are starting to get calls from customers, and they're reporting these calls. They're concerned about this tracking of transactions that is greater than $600. So Americans are starting to be worried about this. Do you think that this pay-for of giving the IRS more money to crack down on unpaid taxes is going to stay in the reconciliation bill? And what do you say to Americans who are concerned about that?
Yes. Well, I mean, with all due respect, the plural of anecdote is not data. I've said that before here. Yes, there are concerns that some people have, but if people are breaking the law and not paying their taxes, one way to track them is through the banking measure. I think 600, but that's a negotiation that will go on as to what the amount is. But yes.
So Nancy Pelosi defends the IRS reporting proposal that some people call an IRS surveillance proposal, where the IRS will be able to basically look at the transactions into your bank account if this is included into the stimulus package, which she says, yes, it will be included into the stimulus package, but the specifics are open to negotiations. And this will be included because this is what she says, at least. Now, there have been some negotiations back and forth because this is a very controversial issue. We've heard some back and forth saying that it might not be for transactions as low as $600. It might be as high as transactions up to $10,000, or for bank accounts with balances of $10,000. So there's been a lot of back and forth of this, but you heard Nancy Pelosi there say that tax cheats shouldn't be allowed to cheat the systems, and this is one way to make sure that people aren't cheating the system. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. I know it's been a very controversial issue. People don't want the IRS looking into their bank accounts, but on the other hand, she says that if people are cheating their taxes, well, they shouldn't be allowed to do that either. Here's what Nancy Pelosi says on the size of the stimulus package.
We have some important decisions to make in the next few days so that we can proceed. I'm very disappointed that we're not going with the original $3.5 trillion, which was very transformative. But in the whatever we do, we'll make decisions that will continue to be transformative about women in the workplace. So transformed because of child care and which sort of go together, the child tax credit, home health care, workers. Men benefit too, but largely women, and women are those caregivers as well. So not only to free up women to go into the workplace for their own professions and interest, but also to recognize the work that women do in providing that health care, issues that relate to family and medical leave and the rest. The Build Back Better is three baskets. It's climate, which we spent some time talking about already, health, jobs, security, and moral responsibility. It's health care, the issues that relate to the Affordable Care Act, Medicare and Medicaid, and family care. I mentioned some of those issues already. And so whatever we do, it will be transformative. It will produce results. And we are very grateful to our president for saying, I want to pass the bipartisan legislation on infrastructure, but I will not confine my vision for the future to what can be in that bill. Hence, we need the Build Back Better.
Senator Bernie Sanders, who's the Senate budget chairman, the person largely considered in charge of the stimulus package, is really fighting for seniors for the Medicare benefits. He says yesterday that expanding the Medicare benefits for seniors is not negotiable in the package. Senator Bernie Sanders said Tuesday that adding dental, hearing, and vision benefits to Medicare in Democrats' social spending package, quote, is not negotiable, drawing a firm line on issues progressive Democrats have been championing. He says, this to me is not negotiable. He said on a call with reporters, this is what the American people want. Representative Pramila Jayapal, a Democrat from Washington, the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, added that Sanders' view is the position of the House Progressive Caucus as well, adding further heft to the position. Progressives have long been pushing for expanding the Medicare benefits in President Biden's Build Back Better package, but the new comments illustrate how key the issue is for them. It adds to the complications for the Democrats as they try to fit in an array of priorities while shrinking the overall size of the package. I don't know if it adds complications because the Medicare benefits have long been in the package. So they're just making sure that these Medicare benefits stay in the package. The other thing they're pushing for, as you can see here, is House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn, a Democrat from South Carolina, is pushing hard for a provision to expand Medicaid in the 12 Republican-led states that have so far rejected the expansion. The House version of the package fully funded both the ACA and the Medicaid provisions, but did not start Medicare dental benefits until 28, a move that helps save money. Senator Bernie Sanders has criticized the House bill for waiting too long to begin the dental benefits. He also noted that parts of the health care industry are opposed to the Medicare expansion provision. The American Dental Association, for example, has been pushing to target the provision only to low-income people, given concerns about lower payment rates for dentists under the Medicare program. So yeah, there's 12 Republican states that have not opted into Medicaid right now. And the Democrats are trying to figure out a way to offer Medicaid in those 12 states through this package, of which the 12 Republican governors just refused to offer it. So there is a lot of different moving pieces to this package. Senator Bernie Sanders wants to try to offer the dental benefits earlier from the House package. As I said, there's a lot of push and shove negotiations to this. The prescription drug pricing is a big negotiation going on right now, as well as the size of the overall package. Once they come to an agreement on the size of the overall package, somewhere, my guess is going to be, it's probably going to fall around 2.5 trillion, maybe a little bit less. Then they're going to determine what they can fit in there. And hopefully they could put an adult fourth stimulus check in there in addition to the monthly stimulus checks for the children called the child tax credits. But there's also all these other things like the Medicare benefits for seniors, hearing, dental, vision, hearing aids coverage, um, denture coverage, as well as lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, which is for like over 20 million people are going to be eligible for Medicare. These Medicaid benefits, which is going to be, if they can get it in there, for 12 Republican states that currently just won't offer it. And there's, like I said, there's all these different things in there. And remember, they always seem to add some things in there at the very last moment. Senator Bernie Sanders is pushing for a $1,000 stimulus debit card. We have a lot of advocacy groups pushing for $1,400 stimulus checks. I'll link it to 2 videos that I just did recently on both of those as well. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a lot of stuff going on in Congress as well in our country. I'll keep you up to date with pretty much everything you need to know about on a daily basis. So yeah, don't worry. I'll keep you up to date on everything. You can click here to see all the groups pushing for $1,400 stimulus checks to be included in addition to the child stimulus checks and the adult tax credit. And you can click here to see about the $1,000 stimulus debit card that Senator Bernie Sanders is pushing for. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.